Hey guys, real quick, I just wanted to tell you guys about a pretty nifty podcast software called Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's one of the easiest ways to make a podcast, especially if you're just starting out. Let me explain. First off, Anchor is a free platform. There are tons of creation tools that allows you to record or edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it could be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, and many more. You also can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Cha-ching! It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one. If this sounds like the thing for you, make sure to download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Now back to the spooky tales.
Welcome to the podcast where we talk about the things that are hidden in the shadows. I'm Isaac.
And I'm Megan.
And today we're talking about Ouija boards.
Ooh, Ouija boards.
And how to use them. Hint for you, don't.
Yeah, well, okay, we should put this out there first that, there's people that are for Ouija boards. There's people that are against Ouija boards. We are both against it, just from personal experiences. I know.
No personal experience.
Okay, no. Okay, well, there's a personal experience on my part. Like, I didn't ever actually partake in one, but literally, you can go all the way down my family line, and they are strictly against Ouija boards.
Now, little history on Ouija boards. Excuse me. Maybe you didn't do research, but I did. Originally around 1800s, around 1870s, 1880s. It was called a talking board game, right?
It didn't actually come out until the 1890s, though.
Yeah. Before then, it was... Because around that period of time, 1880s and stuff like that, people were really into the spiritual. That's where you got, the old-timey photos of ectoplasm coming out and Harry Houdini who tried to debunk the whole situation, right? Mm-hmm. Calling people charlatans and stuff like that. It was around that period of time where really people were into seances and stuff like that. So a talking board, right, which is what originally was called before it got its name, Ouija board, was a popular. It became a popular game until a guy named Bernard Kennedy, I think was his name, Bernard something. Yeah. Saw the money in it for people around the time to sell it to them because they were all into spiritual thing, like, oh, this is something I can do at home.
What a bastard!
So he took that and made profit.
Just kidding.
Funny how the Ouija board got its name. The people who made it asked it what you want it to be called.
Ew, I didn't know that.
And it gave the name Ouija.
Ew.
Yeah.
Weird.
Now there's some misconception behind it. They think it was actually named after a woman named Oda. It's spelled almost exactly.
That name gives me the chills.
Minus the J, I guess.
Yeah.
But different stories from different people. But yeah, essentially the board named itself.
Weird.
And then the Parker brothers bought it in the 1900s, 1911, whatever. Anyway, and then started selling it. And then they actually outsold the Monopoly board at a period of time.
Wow.
Now, the reason why we're against it, and it goes more than why people ask, why is it just a game? Why is it so scary and stuff like that? It's not the game. It's not the board. You can have your own homemade Ouija board if you wanted to.
But it's the diving into, summoning.
It's the act of doing it, right?
Because I think, at any point when you open any...
Right.
I think it's Jason.
Yeah.
When you open any kind of, when you start doing any kind of, paranormal thing, you pose the chance, even paranormal investigators, when they open the door for the chance of getting something dark and evil in. Yes. And that's specifically why I will not touch one. Yes. Because with like the whole sensitivity stuff, like I don't want to mess with that. I don't want to deal with
Well, that's
that.
the point that I was trying to get across. It's not the fact. Well, we give a warning not to use them for the act of doing it, or call something or someone to you. Because if you call out to somebody, someone will answer. And as history told, it's not always people
And
that answer the call.
I remember. Okay, well, here's a personal experience.
Before you get on that,
yeah.
Let me finish what I was saying.
Oh, sorry.
And it's not that I give the warning to average person who's not involved in paranormal not to use it for those reasons. But what I tell, or as I told Megan, and as I'll tell my son and anyone in our family, any kids we have, not to use it is because of who we are. It's because we're so surrounded by the paranormal. As if you listen to our earlier episodes, kind of around us all the time.
Yeah.
And you being sensitive and me just being around it, right? It's like you're playing with fire for us. Right?
Yeah.
We're already near it. Just doing that, you're basically sticking your hand to play. So that's why we have a stronger stance against it because of what we're involved in as a family.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know.
But you were saying something about a personal story?
Yeah, I had a personal experience. So me and my mom, it's a connection between me and my mom, and as paranormal stuff goes on and we talk about it or whatever, you're going to see there's a lot of connections between me and my mom because my mom and my grandmother have some form of the sensitive gift. We both have it in different ways. And I actually kind of think it was passed on through that. Anyways, so my mom didn't actually play one, but she was around one before. Like, her friends were playing it. She was in the same room, and a name came through, right? I'm not going to say the name because, honestly, I don't even know if it's demonic or not. Okay, so so my mom, like I said, she got a name and a story. She herself wasn't playing it, but her friends were. But of course, they were going, oh my God, it's moving. Oh my gosh, it's spelling out this. Oh my gosh, this almost got, all of that, right? And so forward, I was in, I wouldn't say sophomore year of high school. And this kid, we had like a free period. Like, it was towards the end of the year. So like literally we didn't do anything but just like chill out, catch up on work, whatever, and math. And the teacher was super laid back. And this kid's like, look, I bought a Ouija board, but he like handmade it, right? And of course it was one of those kids that, like just does dumb shit. Like, class clown, doesn't really turn in their homework, just kind of like just does dumb stuff. Anyways, so I was the only person that didn't get up and play with it. And I remember they turned around and they were like, Megan, you don't want to come up here? And I was like, no, I don't do that kind of stuff. Anyways, but it's crazy because the like urge to play it was very great with me. Like, I wanted to play it so bad, which was weird. I thought that was so that automatically made me say, no, I'm not going to play with it, because if it's kind of tempting me, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to, fall for that. Anyways, so, I put my headphones in because I was like, I don't even want my mind going there. I don't want to hear what they have to say from the board, right? And so I put my earplugs in, and I could still hear the kids, and they said a name. And I could hear them talking about what the person was saying about whatever. Anyways, I went home from school, and I was like, hey, Mom, they played a Ouija board in school. And she was like, what? Why did the teacher allow that to even happen? That's just, and I was like, well, the teacher's nonchalant, probably doesn't believe in that kind of stuff. He's just, and there was kids or whatever, and they were really freaked out about it because I remember, like, they were freaking out the fact that this kid's hand was moving, and they were like, oh my God, you're doing it, and like a bunch of kids tried it. Anyways, I told her what came through, and she goes, no way. And I said, yeah, that's why. And she goes, it's the same exact, like thing that the guy said, through the board. Same exact. And this is with completely two different states, like maybe 18 years apart. Yeah, 18 years apart. She was around my age when she did it too. She didn't do it, but she was in the room with one. And like I said, I don't know if it's a demonic name. I don't know. Well, I don't know.
What is it?
Zeke.
Well, not any knowledge that I know of.
Or malicious spirit or whatever, but he basically came through and said that he killed his wife and he was sorry. But I mean, that could just be.
You know, it's funny. My brother.
Ew, see, I have chills. I should have never said the name because the name freaks me out.
Anyway, I remember one time my brother Gabe always said that he always wanted to be a fly on a wall for a Ouija board session, but because of who we are and what we experienced, it'd probably be a bad idea.
Yeah, no,
just because and it makes more point sense now more than ever.
Mm-hmm.
But like I was saying, it's not the objects themselves; it's the act of doing. Because when you call out stuff, I always answer. Now, the name or entity that always seems.
Ew, I hate this. I hate the names.
Okay.
Like, it gives me headaches.
Now, if you're an average Ouija board user, or at least somewhat knowledgeable about it, you know the demonic name that comes through. Majority of the time, it's almost like his name is tied with Ouija boards.
Yeah.
Is Zozo.
Ew.
His name's always tied because he always comes through. And some people think it's not a demon, it's just an evil entity. Some people think it's an ancient demon that is trying to get knowledge and stuff like that. Who the fuck knows? But everyone that's came in contact with him, right, has had something bad happen to the next day.
Ew.
From accidents to a child that was drowning to different stuff of that level.
And that's exactly why, especially with me being sensitive, I that's me. You want to do it, that's up to you. I'm not judging you, but no way. And if I ever saw one of my not siblings, but kids.
They're gonna know. We're gonna treat it like porno. They're not allowed to have it.
Oh my god!
They're not allowed to be near it or anything like that.
Oh my god!
If I catch you with it,
Oh my god!
That level of,
No, but I don't know what happened. Something happened to my grandfather with a Ouija board, and also something happened with my grandmother's father with a Ouija board, because my grandma said, which my grandma has a story too with a Ouija board. That
I think my mom does.
If they ever even if you were in their household and you had mentioned a Ouija board, they would literally be so scared, they'd be scared shitless, and so they'd kick you out of the house. It was that bad. So I don't know. My grandma doesn't know what happened. She tried thinking back, so maybe my grandpa told her at some point what happened with the Ouija board, but he was 15 years older than her, so there's probably parts of his life that she doesn't know about. Back in Italy.
Well, thinking about that, if you're her grandfather, which would be your great-great-grandfather.
No, right? Her father.
Her father. That'd be your great-grandfather. Yeah. Him being 15 years, one of your grandfather being 15 years older than your grandmother would put your grandfather's age, shit.
Right now, yeah.
1800s? 1890s?
My grandpa?
Probably when he was a kid?
No, he was 19, because they're 15 years apart. My grandma was born in the 30s, so 19.
I'm not talking about your grandfather.
My great-grandfather, yeah. He was probably
we'll put him around the time of
her father.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was probably around the 1800s, when this thing was coming.
Yeah, when it started popping out.
Because the advertisement was the advertisement behind it, because a lot of toy companies got it, and they were like, "Come try this magic board where you could talk to the spirits and you can." Board. Yeah. So it was very this is a game, but you can talk to your spirits, and because of I was reading somewhere that because of all the wars, that's why people wanted to talk to the spirits, the afterlife in a sense, because so many loved ones died in the different wars.
Yeah, the Civil War around that time, so Americans did it the most, but I guess around World War I, where your great-grandfather would have been serving in if he was in Italy.
No, two, I thought.
World War I.
Oh, one.
Your great-grandfather. Grandfather. Your great-grandfather. He would have been part of World War I.
Yeah.
1901 and all that stuff. So he would have been part of that war. So that makes sense around that time that they would want to contact spirits. Your grandfather, not in World War II.
Yeah, World War II. Yeah. Yeah. Ouija boards, not something.
Now, there's actually a science behind it that scientists think is the reason why you move it. is involuntary. It's subconscious to it. I forgot the actual name of it.
Something science. I remember.
There's an actual term for it. Yeah. And I forget what it's called. But essentially, it's your subconscious mind moving it without you knowing.
Weird.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's like your body and your mind are telling you something that you want to know, but you're not consciously doing it.
Well, you know what actually happened with my grandmother? She actually did a Ouija board, but she didn't have like anything like crazy demonic or bad come through. She actually was told, and she did not know, she was unaware that she had a stepbrother, and so she researched it, and he actually died on Pork Chop Hill, which is an actual thing. Pork Chop Hill, look it up, it's a battle in South Korea, I want to say. In the 50s, the 53 and 54, I believe. But there's an actual place, like a battle of Pork Chop Hill.
Is that English's terminology there?
It might be. I don't know.
Translation for it?
I don't know. All I know is that it happened around July, and I think it lasted a year. I'm not really sure. But yeah. But she found that out because she something with, and she kept getting someone kept saying water, and she had a connection with the water. She ended up having to do a trip where she went over water. She was kind of telling me a little bit about that. So she had a thing. She was actually the one that recommended this episode. She was like, "You guys should do one on Ouija boards." I was like, nah,
not to use them.
What
did I think?
Sorry.
Keep going over. But yes, and I don't know if anyone listening has ever used one. I mean, if you're into paranormal stuff, you at least try to be around one, at least know everything about it. But the art of doing it is you have a board in front of you. Now it goes from A to B, or the entire alphabet A to Z.
A to B, and just two letters of the alphabet. But you get the alphabets coming through.
It has a yes and a no. It has numbers.
Yeah.
Right? You use a thing called a planchette. It's a little triangle object. A little hole in it so you can see it, the letters, and it magnifies it for you. It's a little bit, not like a whole bunch. So you can see exactly the letters that are used. Now, I have never seen it because it looks like crap. Movie was based on the Ouija board. And if you look through the planchette hole, you can see the spirits.
What the fudge?
In the movie. I don't
know. That's crazy. That's an interesting kind of take on it, though. That. It
looked bad. I'm one for horror films, but that just looked awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a movie based on the game. Now I think the premise from just watching the commercial, girl's sister died. She wanted to contact her, but she ended up contacting the wrong spirits and whatever else indoors. I guess what she goes through and scary stuff. And it's probably a typical ending at the end.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. It's kind of interesting, though, the fact that it was, like you said, it proves that it's more of what you're doing with the board than anything, because you think it's just a board. It's just a game board. How is it doing this? But the fact that, spirits and demons can come through, and who knows, you might get some things that are not demonic, but that's the problem, is you're opening that door. You don't really know.
Now, some stories about Ouija boards I found. One I remember specifically. I forgot who it was. I remember it was a female wrestler, Sasha Banks or Bailey. I can't remember which one it was. When they were a teenager, they played with it at a teenager girl slumber party.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like something, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, she said they tried to mess around with it. They got a few answers, but they kept getting number 666 keep pulling up.
Oh gosh!
Right?
Yeah.
And they said they saw shadow figures standing in the corner with red eyes.
Ew.
Yeah.
Ugh. No.
Not just one.
No, thank you. No,
ones.
Thank you.
Right?
No, thank you. Good stuff.
It's funny. Don't mess with that.
Yeah, no. That, yeah, meh. But don't a lot of paranormal investigators tell you not to do that? Because there's a way, I guess, with any kind of thing when you start talking, to open and close the doors.
Yes. And
if you don't close the door, that's when the problems start.
Yes. You have to say goodbye at any Ouija board session. You have to say goodbye. If you don't, whatever you contacted is still there. Right?
The chills just thinking. I wouldn't even want to test it.
Bill Tolley of Ghost Adventures. He's a Mohawk guy, doesn't anymore.
Oh, yeah.
I think he was the one, or was the other one? The other guy. Can't remember the other guy's name. He used to be just the audio guy, and now he's actually part of it now.
Yeah.
I think it was Bill. He said he messed with Ouija boards with his wife a few times before, then joined Ghost Adventures, and Zozo came up.
Right? That name, stop saying it.
Sorry. But I remember the episode, they tried to pull him up, and they did.
Ew.
Right? I tried talking to him. I forgot how the episode went. But, yeah. So that just shows that even Ghost Adventures have dealt with it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But Zach's always said, don't mess with them.
Yeah, I think that's anything when you start doing anything with the paranormal. You're kind of like shining a flashlight. Whether or not you're sensitive or empath or anybody type like that, like a psychic, medium, whatever. You're like saying, hey, I want to talk to you kind of thing, and you give them a flashlight. And of course, you'll have some things that are good that come through, like actual ghosts, actual spirits, lost souls, whatever you want to call it. And then you also kind of open the door to creepy stuff, demonic stuff. And that's what freaks me out. Like, stuff I don't want to deal with.
And some of the other stories, they're not always something demonic. It's something you but excuse me.
Not Maleficent. That's the movie.
Spirit, right?
Yeah.
What was the other story? Some out of 60, always women. A 16-year-old girl, like in the 80s or something, had a living spirits attached to her of an older man, and caused havoc, typical shit. He had to bring a priest in. Right?
Oh my gosh.
Hell, even the plot line for The Exorcist.
Oh, yeah.
Was dealt with a Ouija board. She messed around with one, and of course she got possessed. Right? Mm-hmm. Which is before then, that movie really didn't, Ouija boards didn't really have that bad of a rap. People think it's because of The Exorcist that where Ouija boards were considered now. Like, I won't fuck with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like for me personally, that's like how I feel is that you open the door, like I said, you can have it
enough time to read.
Huh?
So we've reiterated enough time to read.
Yeah, sorry. It's just super important because, you never.
Yeah, funny thing about the Ouija board history of it, it was originally a dating game.
Oh, really? Yeah, I think I read that too.
Yeah.
And
for a reason to get close to that person and touch hands.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
The concept actually went all the way back to a Chinese dynasty in, I think, 1000 AD.
Yeah.
Yeah, the idea of it. Like little bits and pieces here. Like they had some, like what is it called? The planchette? They had something like that. I remember reading that a while back about, it was back all the way in the Chinese dynasty, one of the Chinese dynasties. Then it's late at night, so my verbalage is not working with me.
By the way, I think we talked about it at the beginning, but we did catch an EVP, or at least we think we did, in the first episode. So if you listen to every episode and you have a keen ear for it, and you hear one,
let us know.
Let us know.
Yeah.
Even when Megan editing it, she finds a few.
Yeah, because
it's only funny. It's only a paranormal one. We record NYAC, nothing. But this one, I guess maybe
again,
night, I don't know.
I know. Again, I think it's the opening the door. Like with me, I know. With me, I don't know why. I can't explain it to you. But when I start talking about paranormal, my experience and stuff, like it's like I'm like calling them out. Like, hey, come start doing stuff with stuff. So
that's why we need to invest in more protection.
Yeah,
and I'm not talking weapons and stuff. I'm talking actual whatever we need to protect us from everything.
Yeah, spiritual wise.
Yeah.
But what was I gonna say? But yeah, so what happened with that EVP was it was around 2 minutes And it's very faint when you hear everything together. Like, most people probably won't pick it up, but I was able to isolate it when I was editing. And so if you guys want to see the clips, make sure to like DM us and I'll share the clips. Actually, I might share the clips anyways.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Huh?
Share on Instagram.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
But I let a couple like paranormal investigators kind of listen to it that follow us, and they were kind of like, yeah, there's something there. A lot of people said they heard a growl. Isaac actually said he kept hearing Tiwa, which I looked.
Well, it sounds like it starts with a T.
Like a Tiwa.
And it ends with because what you can hear if you listen enough is like, it sounds like I want her.
Ew, no, that's meh.
No, so if you start with a T and then with her, so that's oh hell. Like Tawahana. Like Tawahana.
Yeah.
Right? Like I want her. Tawahana. That's kind of sounds like, and I was telling her, like, what does that like Native American speak?
Well, no, so I went ahead and I Googled it, right? And like Tiwa, they probably say it different than what I'm saying it, but Tiwa is actually a Native American girl's name. And it's the same Indian language that would have been Indians around these parts. And there was a lot of Indians here. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Native Americans. Not that. But yeah.
Indian talk here.
But, yeah. So, yeah. So, I don't know, but I'll release the clips, and like I said, some people actually heard some of the people that I let hear said it sounded more like a growl, which is kind of creepy, which I don't like. I'm trying to think what I was saying too. Oh, I was talking about Christianity and about how we're approaching it as Christians, how we approach this like the paranormal world, and
that's why we're X-Men on the Ouija board.
Yeah, and stuff like that, and I can't tell you how much like technical difficulties that are coming with this paranormal podcast, like editing and stuff, versus like our normal podcast, which is not your average conversation podcast. Where we just talk about normal stuff. It's not like paranormal based, and it's like I never have any problems. But recently, I've been having like freaking computer mess ups. I've been having some crazy stuff happening. So, yeah, it's just paranormal. It's coming for us. I'm just kidding. Sorry.
Okay.
I am like, it's late.
What time?
26 minutes.
26 minutes?
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. I feel like we crammed a lot at you guys kind of quick.
Yeah.
But, so you want to actually, it's just about Ouija boards, but we kind of covered all topics of Ouija boards. You want to throw a different subject in there? Talk about?
What do you mean?
Like, talk about another part?
Another part of Ouija boards? What are you talking about? So you're talking about stuff that's related to Ouija boards?
Yeah, like, let's talk crazy stuff that's
I can tell you something that I learned a while ago. I think it has to do with the same art of calling out.
Yeah.
I forget what it's called. It has to do with the mirror, just one.
Yeah.
And usually you try to do it in a confined space, a small closet or room, a box or something like that. I forgot the dang name of it. Anyway, if you can remember it, let us know. But essentially, is you sit in front of a chair in front of a mirror, and you have a candle lit amount of light in the room. It has to be very dim, very dark. And you have the mirror tilted in such a way that you can't see your own reflection, but you can still see the mirror, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's considered the safest way to contact spirits, especially one you want to contact, right?
Ew, that's not...
So you call out to the person you're trying to contact, right?
Uh-huh.
And you do it enough ways, and soon you'll see, most people say they see a mist in the room. They usually don't see the reflection of the bottle.
Yeah, that was his water bottle. It's been doing that.
Yeah. Sometimes they see the reflection of the person they're looking for, right? And there was some rich Playboy style guy back, I want to say like the 60s or 70s, who had one of these rooms dedicated to doing that. And people would come over his parties and stuff, and he would ask them, hey, you want to go up there and talk to your dead grandpa or something?
That sounds fishy
right?
and weird. Yeah.
Funny, I remember the guys that I was hearing this interview with, they're talking about it. They said they wouldn't do it in our house because it's like opening up a portal.
Oh, yeah.
right? And that's essentially what a Ouija board does. It opens up a portal. And there's other things that considerably can open up portals that you don't want to mess with, right? People say tarot card readings do the same thing.
Yeah.
Crystal gazing.
See, and that's funny that you
was that new thing kids are talking about mirror jumping?
Oh, yeah. But that has to do with alternate, like, realities and whatever you see another you or something like that.
I mean, it's...
Like, it's you in the mirror. It has to do with...
Or you think it's you.
Ew, I just... Ugh. But did you see, what was that thing? I think it was on TikTok or something. I saw it. I don't know if like the actual thing is a TikTok thing, but it's like where, I don't know if it's you say something or you do something 3 times and like you could see your reflection
smile. Bloody Mary?
No. Ugh. I'm getting like chills thinking about all this. But you can see your reflection smile back at you. Like, not like, that sounds like a reflection, but you know what I mean? Like it's different. It's you in the mirror, but it's...
You reminded me of something.
Something
I didn't mention in the last episode about dreams.
Mm-hmm.
This was a dream. And talking about mirrors, I had a dream that I saw myself in the mirror, or a nightmare, what you would say, but it wasn't me. It was a black version of myself. All black. And I'm not talking like a black person. I'm talking like my skin was the color black. My nails, my hair, my teeth, my eyes. Every inch of me was black. And like my hair was spiked, but it wasn't spiked like my hair, like almost horns, right?
Ew,
and
Isaac.
Like opened my mouth and it was just like teeth. Like sharp ass jagged teeth, just black. Right?
Yeah. That's scary.
Like I saw the dark side of myself or something.
Oh, weird.
But no, if somebody yourself in the mirror does that. But I think it has to do with alternate dimensions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which I briefly talked about a few times earlier about me skipping to other dimensions.
Yeah, which that actually, funny enough, that paranormal subject, like my brain is kind of like, I don't know, like I have a hard time wrapping my head around. Like, I don't know. It's
hard for me to explain to the people.
Yeah.
But me skipping through different realities is, I don't know if it's 100% true or not, or if I'm doing it. Which is a scary thought I have is, am I in my current reality? I don't think so. Have I skipped enough times that I'm like, I don't know. And I think I'm going off subject, but there's a thing I think about every now and then. Like, am I in my original reality? Have I skipped so many times that I'm not? I'm like maybe 1,000th realities away from the original one.
I don't know.
And that has to do with the Mandela effect, too.
Oh, yeah, which that's going to be actually a conversation topic at some point, because there was a couple... Mandela effect is like when things get adjusted, right?
That you remember things differently.
Oh, yeah.
And they are the only one. A group, like majority of people together remember something different.
The most evident one was, I thought, the Queen song. We Are the Champions. Have you heard about that one?
Yeah, 100%. Like, everyone and their dog remembers them. We are the champions of the world at the end of the song. Not just, we are the champions. And there's an empty amount of space where the world.
I remember when I first heard that, because like I remember you telling me about it, and I was like, oh no, like for sure it's because you showed me the video, I think, of the one singer in the car. I think it was like carpool karaoke, something like that, and she sang Of the World.
Hey, where is it?
Yeah. And the people in the car were kind of like, what the?
No, everyone in the car were like, where is it? Yeah. And I'm like, is that a different recording? They're all freaking out.
Yeah. So I listened. I said, yeah, I remember Of the World. So I listened to it and there was none. No.
Yeah, like it's erased.
Of the World. Yeah, that's crazy. That was the craziest one. There was another one that I was like, what?
Bernstein Bears is the most familiar one. Because everyone remembers it as Bernstein, not Bernstein.
Yeah.
It's actually Bernstein Bears, which sounds dumb and it sounds wrong in your ear when you hear it.
Yeah. Oh.
Stuff like that, anyway. But yes, the act of calling out to spirits, involving Ouija boards, stuff like that, that's what's dangerous, right? Mm-hmm. And if you're not properly trained or even know how to do it, and like that, you can summon something you don't want to, right? And that's how some places get hella haunted, too.
Yeah.
Right? Because people open portals and shit, and they don't have to fucking close them, and then, hey, everybody just walk on through.
Yeah. Oof.
Oof.
That just, like, the idea of all that freaks me out.
Yeah. Because people like devil worshippers opening up fucking hell portals and portals and places.
Well, one of the locations, because like I said, Mondays and Wednesdays I talk about like haunted locations, and we go state by state throughout the months. But one of the haunted locations in North Carolina is the Devil's Tramping Ground. Have you heard about that?
Mm.
Where like you put stuff inside the circle, and at night it ends up outside.
No, people have camped in the middle of the circle and woke up outside of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah. Who knows? Maybe that's because they say it got its name because they think that's like where the devil tramps. Like, just scary.
Well, it's not, I'd say a perfect circle, but it's a circle of ground that nothing grows. Yeah. And everything around it is of course, vegetation and life. But that one circle, nothing grows there.
Yeah.
No one can figure out why.
Weird. Yeah, and I think I forgot where it is. I know it's in North Carolina. I think it's like more towards the middle, towards the western part.
Mm. Not far from here.
Yeah, it's not that far. It's like, I think it's near Greensboro is where it's close to. Not 100% sure. A lot of the haunted locations in North Carolina are like Asheville area, like the Brown Mountain Lights. I did a thing on that with our Instagram, and talking a little bit about that. That's one of like North Carolina's phenomenon legends things, which that's mainly talking. Well, they don't even know what it is. They don't even know for sure if it's aliens or not. It's on Brown Mountain in Pisgah National Forest.
Yeah, and you want to go there for a honeymoon?
Not for a honeymoon, but for like anniversary vacation.
Sorry, anniversary.
Anniversary vacation. We were going to take a trip to Asheville.
Yeah. And
there's Lydia's Bridge near there, which that's the hitchhiker that will actually get in the car.
That's a Texas tale. God damn, wherever he goes, everybody got their own version.
Yeah.
There's a Texas, I don't know what her name is, but maybe that's a Mexico legend too. That if there's a hitchhiker woman on the side of the road, you pick her up, she gets in, and then midway through, you look over, she's not there anymore.
No, this one is she actually takes the address. She gives you an address, and like when you try and make small talk with her, she kind of just like ignores it, like she's preoccupied on something else. And when you get to the actual house, there's a house, she disappears. Freaky. There's also.
You want to go there?
No, maybe you get a picture. That's it.
You can be fucking freaked out the second you get near there.
Oh my god, I probably would.
Especially at night. If we go at night, they say like, "Hey, it's going on."
Oh yeah, I'd probably cry. Like no,
let's go back.
No, you know what? I used to get so scared. My dad.
You see a random person walk outside.
No, you know what I used to get like freaked out with? My dad used to be a newspaper carrier, and sometimes I would go during the summer and help him deliver papers, and he had like the rural. Sorry, I have troubles. Rural. Sorry. Rural areas. And so it would be like these big, just like fields, right? And I remember I used to think in my head, oh my God, if Jeepers Creepers comes out, you know? It was really scary. Like there's cornfields and there's I was like, this is like the perfect. And I remember too, there was like this one, I had to get out of the car to to like put the newspaper in the tube, and he was like, just get out, don't worry about it, the newspaper tube's right there, right? It wasn't like a walk from the car, it's like I stepped out and walked, like pretty much I was at the back end of the car, and I felt myself hit something, right? And I looked, and I'm not even kidding, it was a little like tombstone, and the family cemetery was right by the freaking newspaper tube. Yeah. Oh, God. And I was like, great. And I hauled the ass back in the car. And I told him I was not getting out. I remember he would like stop at these random gas stations that were just like a hut in the middle of these cornfields. Just like, don't leave me here. It's like 2 a.m. Yeah. So that was fun. Fun summers.
Something I want to know.
Hmm.
Well, this goes to our listeners.
Hmm.
If any of them have a Ouija board.
Yeah. Well, I did do a poll before we started, when I announced that our next episode was going to be Ouija boards. We did a poll, and has anybody. So I did a poll on Instagram stories, and it was like, I think it was like, would you do a Ouija board? Have you done a Ouija board? But it was about 50%. So no,
doing it and not doing it doesn't say that they don't have it.
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying is that's people that have had experiences with it.
And if you do have it, are you going to get rid of it now?
Probably not.
Should.
I feel like Ouija boards are one of those things that, like, either you believe in the dark side of it, or you don't really care.
I'm not saying that everyone that ever plays one is going to get something through, right? The high chance of you, especially if you're not somebody involved with the paranormal, even, I'll say I'm not a believer, but where I'm trying to get across. There's not a chance that everyone's going to get something every single time.
Yeah.
Right? If you're more involved with it or in a haunted location, yeah, your chances go up.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Us doing an abandoned insane asylum.
Ew. No, I can just imagine.
Probably a good chance we're going to get something.
Just imagine.
But average schmojo who never gave two shits about paranormal, doing it one afternoon, probably nothing.
I don't know. Those kids got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so. I remember. Oh gosh, the feel, like, I can describe to you, and I don't know if it has something to do with me being a sensitive, but I remember, like, I started getting, like, a real which I do anyways when I talk about anything paranormal, go around anything. That's why, like, I'm questioning whether I could survive, like, a paranormal investigation, because I start getting, like, very nauseous and a bad headache. Like, when we started doing, like, I don't know, I think I actually left that in where, like, I complain about headaches, like, the headaches, the first 2 episodes. Like, I get really bad headaches when I start, like, doing the whole, like, when they were doing that in the classroom, I had, like, a bad headache, felt like I was going to throw up, but yet I really wanted to play it. Like, literally, it was like an invisible force was drawing me to it. So that automatically says to myself, maybe Ian's not something I should do. So I ended up not doing it. But I remember I had my headphones in, and still heard everything that came through, so that did me no good.
I think we exhausted the subject enough.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry, guys. We want, kind of.
Well, I mean, we don't have, like, experience with Ouija boards other than the fact that you telling people to use them.
And a little bit of research behind it. Yeah, because I always thought, because that was my first initial question when we kind of were going to do the Ouija boards, like, without doing research, like, real good night. Literally. Without doing research about it, I didn't really, in my head I was thinking, oh, well, it's just like a toy. Like, I wouldn't deal with it. I know there's bad things that could come through, but how did it go from being a toy to what it is, like, now?
Yeah. And what it is now, this is something else I just remember, involving it. You remember, I don't know, was it 2-3 years ago? All them stupid ass kids are messing with a thing called Charlie.
Oh, yeah, now I remember. I didn't remember.
Same shit. Same thing. You're calling out to somebody or something, and you're going to get something. Not
I forgot about that. Whew.
Yeah, but it's the same act. It's an act of doing it. It's not the game. It's the act of doing it. That's the one thing I can get across from anybody right now, or listening to this. It's not the board. It's not how you draw it up, or that. It's the act of doing it.
Yeah, that's why you can get a board at a Ouija, which they sell at, like, Target, by the way. Yeah. Like, Ouija boards, like that, and you can hand make them, and they do the same thing.
Yep. There was a movie, Spanish, came out a couple of years ago. Veronica, I think it was called.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Based on a girl from Spain. She messed around the Ouija board. Actually, based on supposedly a true story. Mm-hmm. That she was possessed or oppressed or something, and she ended up dead in her house.
Yeah.
Cops came, found everything like damage and shit like that.
Mm.
It was on a story about her, but she didn't. And in the movie, she didn't have one. She made one.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think like anything, like I remember there's a movie, and I think this is kind of the same thing. It was about a girl that she would constantly talk to. I forgot what the movie was called, but she would talk to her mom who was dead, and she would call out to her mom, but instead of calling out to her mom, it wasn't her mom, it was a demon.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh, gives me chills thinking about something like that. But I think, again, that's the same thing, the act of it. Like, again, you're creating a flashlight, and
create a flashlight. You're putting the flashlight in the room going, hey, is anybody there? And they're all looking because they can see it.
Yeah. So I think, so I think that, and that makes more sense for the Ouija board, going, like, my initial question, like, why it's something so basic, something that kind of started out as like a novelty thing. Like, how now can people summon demons with it? Like, how did it go to that?
Yeah.
And so, so now I know it's the act. Oops.
Draw for next week.
Yep. So we're gonna draw for next week. Here. Drum roll, please, from the center stage. Just kidding, there is no center stage.
Well, that's something I know a little bit about. I've heard some stories.
Yeah.
The Denver airports.
And Lucifer.
Involved with Lucifer, that horse thing.
That horse thing, yeah. So we're going to go and deep conversations.
The conspiracy theories I heard about that thing, endless. That's endless.
Yeah, and actually, I even kind of found out about it. I think I heard about it a little bit here and there.
Well, I saw like the thing on one of the YouTube channels I follow.
Yeah, my cousin, she actually put in one of the comments when I said, like, refer topic or whatever, or ask a question or whatever, she put about that. Have we heard about that? So I did a little bit of research on the whole Lucifer thing, which is creepy as hell. But then I started kind of digging, and I found some stuff about Denver, the Denver airport, and I was like, dang, this would make a good subject topic. So
everywhere from having Illuminati symbols painted into the walls to it being the location for all the important people in case the world ends.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy shit.
Dang. Yeah, so next week's episode, it's gonna be interesting.
Like we said before, if you guys have any topics that you want us to hit specifically, to throw into the haunted jar of topics.
Yeah.
Just DM us, message us, post us something on Instagram, any related stories whatsoever. If you want to hear us talk about it, or maybe we have a perspective on it you didn't know we might have, let us know.
Yeah, always. And of course, we want to hear what you guys think of the episode so far. So make sure.
3, and this is the newest one out of the 3.
4. Yeah. 4. It's gonna be the
original
4th
3 that we launched.
Yeah. It's gonna be the 4th one. So. Yeah, so make sure to DM us, and we should be getting stickers soon. So we're going to actually do some free podcast stickers soon. And a way to put yourself in the hat for one of those is to DM us your feedback, because we want to know the good, the bad, what we can improve on, what you like about it, what you don't like about it. Maybe that's an opportunity to put it in a subject that you want to hear us talk about. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So we'll catch you on the next episode.
Catch you weirdos later.